Welcome back to Drowsy Tales Daily. Tonight I have 35 incredible stories from Reddit about food service frauds and restaurant betrayals where dishonest owners, managers, and staff systematically deceive customers through ingredient substitutions, billing scams, and deceptive practices that turn dining experiences into costly disappointments and violated customer trust in food service integrity. Our first story comes from restaurant customers who discovered the owner was systematically substituting cheap ingredients while charging premium prices for high-quality menu items, creating a sophisticated ingredient fraud scheme that misrepresented food quality and overcharged diners for inferior products presented as gourmet cuisine. The owner had been purchasing low-grade ingredients and processed foods while advertising fresh, premium, and artisanal menu options that commanded significantly higher prices despite the actual use of cheap substitutes that provided much lower food quality and nutritional value than advertised menu descriptions and pricing would suggest. The ingredient substitution operation involved comprehensive menu misrepresentation and food quality fraud while maintaining enough visible quality elements to avoid immediate detection by customers who trusted menu descriptions and restaurant reputation for honest food preparation and ingredient quality standards. The owner had been particularly focused on substituting expensive proteins and specialty ingredients with cheaper alternatives while ensuring that food presentation would mask quality differences and maintain customer satisfaction despite systematic use of inferior ingredients that violated menu accuracy and food service integrity principles. The scheme extended to training kitchen staff to disguise ingredient substitutions through seasoning and preparation techniques while creating false supplier documentation and ingredient sourcing claims that would support menu authenticity despite systematic use of cheap alternatives to advertise premium ingredients. The owner had also been manipulating supplier relationships and ingredient purchasing to maximize profit margins while maintaining customer pricing for premium menu items that were actually prepared with significantly cheaper ingredients and lower quality food products than menu descriptions and restaurant marketing would indicate. The ingredient substitution fraud was discovered when customers with culinary knowledge noticed food quality inconsistencies and investigated ingredient sourcing, leading to exposure of systematic menu misrepresentation and ingredient fraud that violated food service regulations and consumer protection standards. Our second story involves restaurant customers who discovered servers were systematically adding unauthorized charges to customer bills while manipulating payment processing and receipt generation to include services and items that were never ordered or provided during dining experiences. The servers had been operating sophisticated billing manipulation schemes where customer checks would include additional charges for drinks, appetizers, and service fees that were never requested or delivered while using receipt formatting and billing complexity to conceal unauthorized additions that would increase total meal costs and server commission earnings. The unauthorized billing operation involved comprehensive charge manipulation and receipt fraud while maintaining enough legitimate billing accuracy to avoid immediate detection by restaurant management and customer service oversight that relied on honest billing practices and accurate charge reporting for customer protection and service integrity. The servers had been particularly focused on adding charges during busy periods and complex group orders while ensuring that unauthorized billing would be difficult to identify through receipt complexity and charge categorization that would obscure fraudulent additions among legitimate meal charges and service fees. The scheme extended to coordinating among multiple servers and restaurant staff to maintain billing fraud while sharing proceeds from unauthorized charges that systematically overcharged customers for services and items that were never provided or requested during restaurant visits and dining experiences. The servers had also been manipulating payment processing systems and receipt generation to make unauthorized charges appear legitimate, while avoiding detailed service documentation that would reveal systematic billing fraud and charge manipulation that violated restaurant service policies and customer billing accuracy standards. The unauthorized billing fraud was discovered when customers began carefully reviewing itemized receipts and coordinating complaints that revealed systematic charge manipulation and billing fraud that violated restaurant service agreements and consumer protection regulations. Our third story comes from restaurant employees who discovered their manager was systematically stealing tips that were meant for waitstaff, while manipulating tip distribution and payroll processing to redirect server earnings into personal accounts and reduce labor costs through theft of employee compensation. The manager had been exploiting access to tip collection and distribution systems to steal substantial amounts from server earnings, while creating false payroll documentation that would conceal tip theft and maintain appearance of legitimate tip distribution and employee compensation management. The tip theft operation involved sophisticated payroll manipulation and compensation fraud, while maintaining enough legitimate tip distribution to avoid immediate detection by restaurant ownership and employee oversight that relied on honest tip management and fair compensation distribution for staff protection and workplace integrity. The manager had been particularly focused on stealing tips during high-volume periods and special events while ensuring that tip theft would be difficult to detect through complex payroll systems and tip distribution procedures that would obscure actual tip collection amounts and employee compensation calculations. The scheme extended to manipulating tip reporting and tax documentation to conceal theft while creating false employee compensation records that would support fraudulent payroll processing and tip distribution that systematically reduced server earnings and violated employee compensation rights. The manager had also been coordinating with restaurant ownership to reduce labor costs through tip theft while sharing stolen compensation and avoiding proper employee payment that was required through labor regulations and restaurant employment agreements. The tip theft fraud was discovered when servers began independently tracking tips and comparing earnings with tip collection records, leading to evidence that revealed systematic compensation theft and payroll manipulation that violated employment law and worker protection standards. Our fourth story involves restaurant customers who discovered the chef was systematically using expired ingredients while selling meals as fresh and safe food products, creating significant health risks and food safety violations that endangered customer well-being through negligent food handling and expired ingredient usage. The chef had been operating with systematic disregard for food safety protocols and expiration date compliance while serving meals prepared with spoiled and expired ingredients that posed serious health risks to customers who trusted restaurant food safety and ingredient freshness standards for safe dining experiences. The expired ingredient operation involved comprehensive food safety violation and ingredient freshness fraud while maintaining enough visible food quality to avoid immediate detection by health inspectors and restaurant oversight that relied on proper food handling and ingredient safety compliance for customer protection and public health standards. The chef had been particularly focused on using expired proteins and dairy products while ensuring that spoilage would be concealed through cooking methods and seasoning techniques that would mask food deterioration and maintain meal presentation despite significant food safety violations and ingredient freshness problems. The scheme extended to manipulating food storage and inventory management to avoid detection of expired ingredients while creating false freshness documentation and supplier records that would support food safety claims despite systematic use of spoiled and expired food products in meal preparation. The chef had also been coordinating with kitchen staff to conceal expired ingredient usage while avoiding proper food safety protocols and ingredient inspection that were required for safe food preparation and customer health protection. The expired ingredient fraud was discovered when customers experienced food poisoning and health officials investigated food safety practices, leading to exposure of systematic food safety violations and expired ingredient usage that violated health regulations and restaurant safety standards. Our fifth story comes from restaurant customers who discovered management was systematically billing customers for meals they never ordered while manipulating ordering systems and receipt generation to include additional items and charges that were never requested or provided during dining visits. The management had been operating sophisticated billing fraud schemes where customer checks would include meals and items that were never ordered while using ordering system manipulation and receipt complexity to conceal fraudulent billing that would significantly increase meal costs and restaurant revenue beyond legitimate food sales and service charges. The false meal billing operation involved comprehensive ordering system fraud and receipt manipulation while maintaining enough legitimate meal billing to avoid immediate detection by restaurant oversight and customer service monitoring that relied on accurate ordering and honest billing practices for customer protection and service integrity. The management had been particularly focused on adding expensive menu items and premium charges during busy periods, while ensuring that false billing would be difficult to identify through receipt formatting and billing complexity that would obscure fraudulent additions among legitimate meal orders and service charges. The scheme extended to training staff to support billing fraud, while creating false ordering documentation and meal preparation records that would justify fraudulent billing despite no actual meal preparation or service delivery for charged items and menu selections. The management had also been manipulating payment processing and customer service procedures to discourage billing disputes while avoiding detailed order verification that would reveal systematic billing fraud and false meal charging that violated restaurant service policies and customer billing accuracy standards. The false meal billing fraud was discovered when customers began documenting orders and comparing receipts with actual meals received, leading to evidence that revealed systematic billing manipulation and meal charging fraud that violated restaurant service agreements and consumer protection regulations. Our sixth story involves catering customers who discovered a catering company was systematically reducing portion sizes after payment while delivering significantly less food than contracted and paid for during special events and catered occasions that required specific food quantities and service levels. The catering company had been operating sophisticated portion reduction schemes where contracted food quantities would be substantially decreased after payment while maintaining catering pricing for full portions and service levels that were never actually delivered to customers and event attendees. The portion reduction operation involved comprehensive contract violation and food quantity fraud while maintaining enough service appearance to avoid immediate detection by event oversight and catering industry monitoring that relied on honest portion delivery and contract compliance for customer protection and service integrity. The company had been particularly focused on reducing expensive proteins and specialty items while ensuring that portion reductions would not be immediately obvious during event service when customers would be focused on event management rather than detailed food quantity verification and portion monitoring. The scheme extended to manipulating catering contracts and food quantity documentation to support portion reductions while creating false preparation and delivery records that would justify reduced food delivery despite contracted quantities and paid catering service levels. The catering company had also been training service staff to manage portion reductions while avoiding customer complaints and quantity verification that would reveal systematic contract violations and food delivery fraud that compromised event success and customer satisfaction. The catering portion reduction fraud was discovered when event planners began measuring food quantities and comparing deliveries with contracted amounts, leading to evidence that revealed systematic portion reduction and contract violation that violated catering service agreements and customer protection standards. Our seventh story comes from food truck customers who discovered the owner was systematically serving reheated fast food while advertising gourmet meals and artisanal cooking that commanded premium prices for supposedly fresh and specially prepared menu items. The food truck owner had been purchasing cheap fast food and convenience store items while reheating and repackaging products to appear as freshly prepared gourmet meals that justified significantly higher pricing and artisanal food claims that misrepresented actual food preparation and ingredient quality. The fake gourmet operation involved comprehensive food misrepresentation and preparation fraud while maintaining enough cooking appearance and food presentation to avoid immediate detection by customers who trusted food truck authenticity and fresh preparation claims for quality mobile dining experiences. The owner had been particularly focused on repackaging recognizable fast food items while ensuring that reheating and presentation would disguise original food sources and maintain customer belief in fresh preparation and gourmet cooking despite systematic use of pre-prepared convenience foods and reheated fast food products. The scheme extended to creating false cooking demonstrations and preparation displays while actually serving reheated products that had no connection to advertised cooking methods and ingredient preparation that customers expected from gourmet food truck operations and artisanal mobile dining services. The food truck owner had also been manipulating food sourcing claims and preparation descriptions to support gourmet pricing while avoiding actual cooking and ingredient preparation that would be required for legitimate artisanal food service and fresh meal preparation. The fake gourmet food truck fraud was discovered when customers recognized repackaged fast food items and investigated food preparation practices, leading to exposure of systematic food misrepresentation and preparation fraud that violated food service regulations and consumer protection standards. Our eighth story involves restaurant customers who discovered management was systematically manipulating group billing to overcharge parties and large dining groups while using complex billing systems and service charge calculations to inflate total costs beyond legitimate meal charges and standard service fees. The management had been operating sophisticated group billing fraud schemes where large parties would be charged inflated service fees and manipulated meal costs while using billing complexity and group charge calculations to conceal overcharging that would significantly increase total dining costs for celebrations and group dining experiences. The group billing manipulation involved comprehensive charge inflation and billing fraud while maintaining enough legitimate group service to avoid immediate detection by restaurant oversight and customer service monitoring that relied on honest group billing and fair service charge calculation for customer protection and service integrity. The management had been particularly focused on overcharging during special occasions and celebrations while ensuring that billing manipulation would be difficult to identify through complex group billing systems and service charge calculations that would obscure fraudulent additions among legitimate meal charges and group service fees. The scheme extended to training staff to support billing fraud while creating false service documentation and group charge justifications that would support inflated billing despite standard service delivery and normal group dining accommodations that should have been charged at regular rates. The management had also been manipulating payment processing and group billing procedures to discourage charge disputes while avoiding detailed billing verification that would reveal systematic overcharging and group billing fraud that violated restaurant service policies and customer billing accuracy standards. The group billing manipulation fraud was discovered when customers began comparing group charges with individual meal costs and investigating billing calculations, leading to evidence that revealed systematic overcharging and billing manipulation that violated restaurant service agreements and consumer protection regulations. Our ninth story comes from restaurant customers who discovered kitchen staff were systematically stealing credit card information during payment processing while exploiting access to customer payment data to conduct identity theft and financial fraud that compromised customer financial security and personal information protection. The kitchen staff had been operating sophisticated credit card theft schemes where customer payment information would be copied and recorded during restaurant transactions while maintaining normal payment processing appearance that would avoid immediate detection of identity theft and financial fraud activities. The credit card theft operation involved comprehensive financial fraud and identity theft while maintaining enough legitimate payment processing to avoid immediate detection by restaurant security and payment processing oversight that relied on honest payment handling and customer financial information protection for transaction security and customer safety. The staff had been particularly focused on targeting customers with high-value credit cards and payment accounts while ensuring that information theft would not be immediately detected through payment processing delays or transaction problems that might reveal unauthorized access to customer financial data and payment information. The scheme extended to coordinating among multiple staff members to share stolen credit card information while avoiding detection through payment processing monitoring and restaurant security systems that were designed to protect customer financial information and prevent payment fraud during dining transactions. The kitchen staff had also been selling stolen credit card information to external fraud networks while avoiding immediate financial fraud detection that would reveal systematic identity theft and payment information compromise that violated customer financial security and restaurant payment protection standards. The credit card theft fraud was discovered when customers began experiencing unauthorized charges and financial institutions investigated payment security breaches, leading to exposure of systematic identity theft and credit card fraud that violated financial security regulations and customer protection standards. Our 10th story involves bakery customers who discovered the owner was systematically selling day-old items as fresh baked goods while manipulating product labeling and display systems to misrepresent baking dates and product freshness that deceived customers about food quality and value. The bakery owner had been operating comprehensive freshness fraud schemes where day-old and older baked goods would be relabeled and displayed as fresh products while charging full prices for items that had significantly reduced quality and freshness compared to advertised baking standards and product quality claims. The day-old product operation involved systematic product misrepresentation and freshness fraud while maintaining enough actually fresh items to avoid immediate detection by customer complaints and food quality oversight that relied on honest product labeling and accurate freshness representation for customer protection and food service integrity. The owner had been particularly focused on selling expensive pastries and specialty items that would generate higher profits while ensuring that product age would be concealed through relabeling and display manipulation that would maintain customer confidence in product freshness and bakery quality standards. The scheme extended to manipulating baking schedules and production records to support freshness claims while actually selling products that were prepared days earlier and had been stored or frozen to extend shelf life beyond normal bakery freshness standards and customer expectations for fresh baked goods. The bakery owner had also been training staff to support freshness fraud while avoiding customer questions about baking dates and product preparation that would reveal systematic product age misrepresentation and freshness violation that compromised food quality and customer value expectations. The day-old bakery fraud was discovered when customers noticed product quality inconsistencies and investigated baking practices, leading to exposure of systematic freshness misrepresentation and product labeling fraud that violated food service regulations and consumer protection standards. Our 11th story comes from restaurant customers who discovered the owner was systematically watering down drinks while charging full prices for alcoholic beverages and specialty cocktails that were significantly diluted to reduce alcohol content and ingredient costs while maintaining premium pricing and drink quality claims. The restaurant owner had been operating sophisticated drink dilution schemes where alcoholic beverages would be systematically watered down or mixed with cheaper alternatives while maintaining full pricing for premium drinks and cocktails that customers expected to meet standard alcohol content and ingredient quality specifications. The drink watering operation involved comprehensive beverage fraud and ingredient dilution while maintaining enough legitimate drink service to avoid immediate detection by customers and alcohol service oversight that relied on honest beverage preparation and accurate alcohol content for customer protection and beverage service integrity. The owner had been particularly focused on diluting expensive liquors and specialty cocktails while ensuring that alcohol reduction would not be immediately obvious to customers who might detect dilution through taste differences or alcohol content awareness during drinking experiences and beverage consumption. The scheme extended to training bartending staff to support drink dilution while creating false inventory management and beverage preparation procedures that would justify reduced alcohol content despite customer payment for full-strength beverages and premium cocktail preparation. The restaurant owner had also been manipulating beverage supplier relationships and inventory purchasing to maximize profit margins while maintaining customer pricing for premium drinks that were actually prepared with significantly reduced alcohol content and cheaper ingredients than menu descriptions and beverage pricing would indicate. The drink watering fraud was discovered when customers with beverage knowledge noticed alcohol content differences and investigated drink preparation practices, leading to exposure of systematic beverage dilution and alcohol content fraud that violated beverage service regulations and consumer protection standards. Our 12th story involves restaurant customers who discovered servers were systematically pocketing cash payments while claiming customers left without paying their bills, creating sophisticated payment theft schemes that stole customer money while falsely accusing diners of theft and bill evasion. The servers had been operating comprehensive cash payment fraud where customers who paid in cash would have their payments stolen while servers would report to management that customers had left without paying, creating false theft claims that would justify charging customers again or pursuing collection actions for bills that had actually been paid. The cash payment theft operation involved systematic customer fraud and false accusation while maintaining enough legitimate payment processing to avoid immediate detection by restaurant management and payment oversight that relied on honest payment handling and accurate transaction reporting for customer protection and payment integrity. The servers had been particularly focused on targeting customers who paid with large bills and tips while ensuring that payment theft would be supported by false customer behavior claims and payment evasion accusations that would shift blame to customers and avoid server responsibility for stolen payments and fraudulent transaction reporting. The scheme extended to coordinating among multiple servers and restaurant staff to support false payment claims while creating documentation that would justify pursuing customers for bills that had already been paid through cash transactions that were stolen, rather than properly processed and recorded. The servers had also been manipulating payment recording systems and transaction documentation to conceal cash payment theft while avoiding accurate payment tracking that would reveal systematic customer payment fraud and false bill evasion claims that violated customer rights and payment processing integrity. The cash payment theft fraud was discovered when customers began documenting payment transactions and challenging false bill claims, leading to evidence that revealed systematic payment fraud and customer accusation manipulation that violated restaurant service standards and consumer protection regulations. Our 13th story comes from restaurant customers who discovered management was systematically charging extra fees that were not listed on menus, while adding undisclosed service charges and facility fees that significantly increased meal costs beyond advertised pricing and standard restaurant charges. The management had been operating comprehensive hidden fee schemes where customers would discover additional charges for table service, facility usage, and dining accommodations that were never disclosed in menu pricing or restaurant service information, creating unexpected costs that violated pricing transparency and customer billing expectations. The hidden fee operation involved systematic charge manipulation and pricing disclosure fraud while maintaining enough transparent pricing to avoid immediate detection by restaurant oversight and customer service monitoring that relied on honest pricing, disclosure, and accurate charge representation for customer protection and service integrity. The management had been particularly focused on adding fees during busy periods and special occasions while ensuring that hidden charges would be difficult to dispute due to payment processing timing and checkout procedures that would pressure customers to pay inflated bills without adequate review and fee verification. The scheme extended to training staff to avoid fee discussion while creating false service categorizations and charge justifications that would support hidden fees despite no actual additional service delivery or facility usage that would warrant extra charges beyond standard menu pricing and restaurant service fees. The management had also been manipulating billing systems and payment processing to make hidden fees appear legitimate, while avoiding detailed charge explanation that would reveal systematic fee addition and pricing disclosure violation that compromised customer billing transparency and service cost accuracy. The hidden restaurant fee fraud was discovered when customers began comparing bills with menu prices and investigating charge discrepancies, leading to evidence that revealed systematic fee addition and pricing transparency violation that violated restaurant service agreements and consumer protection standards. Our 14th story involves restaurant customers who discovered the owner was systematically substituting organic ingredients with conventional alternatives while maintaining organic menu pricing and ingredient claims that deceived customers about food quality and production methods. The restaurant owner had been operating sophisticated organic ingredient fraud schemes where menu items advertised as organic would be prepared with conventional ingredients while charging premium organic pricing for food that did not meet organic production standards or ingredient quality specifications that customers expected from organic menu selections. The organic substitution operation involved comprehensive ingredient fraud and menu misrepresentation while maintaining enough visible organic elements to avoid immediate detection by customers who trusted organic labeling in restaurant ingredient quality claims for healthy dining choices and ingredient transparency. The owner had been particularly focused on substituting expensive organic proteins and produce with conventional alternatives while ensuring that ingredient substitution would not be immediately obvious to customers who might detect quality differences or organic production standard violations during dining experiences. The scheme extended to creating false supplier documentation and organic certification claims, while actually purchasing conventional ingredients and food products that had no connection to organic production methods and quality standards that customers paid premium prices to support and consume. The restaurant owner had also been manipulating menu descriptions and ingredient sourcing claims to maintain organic pricing while avoiding actual organic ingredient purchasing and preparation that would be required for legitimate organic food service and ingredient quality standards. The organic ingredient substitution fraud was discovered when customers with organic farming knowledge questioned ingredient quality and investigated sourcing practices, leading to exposure of systematic ingredient fraud and organic claim misrepresentation that violated food service regulations and organic labeling standards. Our 15th story comes from catering customers who discovered a catering service was systematically delivering different food than contracted while substituting menu items and meal components with cheaper alternatives that significantly reduced meal quality and service value compared to contracted catering agreements and paid service levels. The catering service had been operating comprehensive contract violation schemes where contracted menu items would be replaced with inferior alternatives, while maintaining catering pricing for premium menu selections and service levels that were never actually delivered to events and catered occasions. The food substitution operation involved systematic contract fraud and meal quality reduction, while maintaining enough service appearance to avoid immediate detection by event oversight, and catering industry monitoring that relied on honest contract compliance and accurate food delivery for customer protection and service integrity. The service had been particularly focused on substituting expensive menu items and specialty preparations while ensuring that food substitution would not be immediately obvious during event service when customers would be focused on event management rather than detailed menu verification and food quality assessment. The scheme extended to manipulating catering contracts and menu documentation to support food substitution while creating false preparation and delivery records that would justify altered food delivery despite contracted menu selections and paid catering service specifications. The catering service had also been training service staff to manage food substitution while avoiding customer complaints and menu verification that would reveal systematic contract violations and food delivery fraud that compromised event success and customer satisfaction with catered meal quality. The catering food substitution fraud was discovered when event planners began comparing delivered food with contracted menus and investigating meal quality differences, leading to evidence that revealed systematic contract violation and food substitution that violated catering service agreements and customer protection standards. Our 16th story involves food delivery customers who discovered drivers were systematically eating customer orders while claiming restaurant preparation errors and food unavailability that would justify order cancellation and customer refund processing while drivers kept and consumed paid food orders. The delivery drivers had been operating sophisticated order theft schemes where customer food orders would be consumed by drivers while false restaurant error claims and food preparation problems would be reported to justify order cancellation and avoid customer delivery despite food preparation completion and payment processing. The food delivery theft operation involved comprehensive order fraud and customer deception while maintaining enough legitimate delivery service to avoid immediate detection by delivery platform oversight and restaurant monitoring that relied on honest order delivery and accurate service reporting for customer protection and food service integrity. The drivers had been particularly focused on targeting expensive orders and specialty meals while ensuring that order theft would be supported by believable restaurant error claims and food preparation problems that would justify order cancellation without revealing driver food consumption and delivery fraud. The scheme extended to coordinating among multiple drivers and delivery services to share stolen food while creating false service documentation and error reporting that would support order cancellation despite successful food preparation and customer payment for delivered meals. The delivery drivers had also been manipulating delivery tracking systems and customer communication to support false error claims while avoiding accurate delivery reporting that would reveal systematic order theft and food delivery fraud that violated customer service agreements and food delivery standards. The food delivery theft fraud was discovered when customers began investigating order cancellation patterns and restaurant preparation verification, leading to evidence that revealed systematic order theft and delivery fraud that violated food service regulations and customer protection standards. Our 17th story comes from restaurant customers who discovered management was systematically billing customers multiple times for single meals while exploiting payment processing errors and billing system manipulation to charge customers repeatedly for individual dining experiences and menu orders. The management had been operating sophisticated multiple billing schemes where customer payment processing would be manipulated to create duplicate charges and repeated billing for single restaurant visits while using payment system complexity and billing error claims to justify multiple charges for individual meals and dining services. The multiple billing operation involved comprehensive payment fraud and billing manipulation while maintaining enough legitimate payment processing to avoid immediate detection by restaurant oversight and payment monitoring that relied on honest billing practices and accurate charge processing for customer protection and payment integrity. The management had been particularly focused on multiple billing during busy periods and complex payment situations while ensuring that duplicate charges would be difficult to identify through payment processing delays and billing complexity that would obscure fraudulent multiple charging among legitimate payment transactions. The scheme extended to manipulating payment processing systems and billing verification to support multiple charges, while creating false payment error claims and processing justifications that would support duplicate billing despite single meal service and individual dining experiences that should have been charged only once. The management had also been training staff to support multiple billing while avoiding customer payment verification that would reveal systematic duplicate charging and payment processing fraud that violated customer billing rights and payment accuracy standards. The multiple billing fraud was discovered when customers began monitoring payment processing and comparing charges with dining visits, leading to evidence that revealed systematic duplicate billing and payment manipulation that violated restaurant service agreements and consumer protection regulations. Our 18th story involves restaurant employees who discovered the kitchen manager was systematically stealing restaurant supplies and inventory for personal profit while exploiting access to food purchasing and supply management to resell restaurant ingredients and equipment through unauthorized side businesses and personal sales operations. The kitchen manager had been operating comprehensive inventory theft schemes where restaurant food supplies and kitchen equipment would be diverted for personal resale, while creating false inventory documentation and purchasing records that would conceal systematic theft of restaurant resources and operational supplies. The supply theft operation involved sophisticated inventory manipulation and resource fraud while maintaining enough legitimate supply management to avoid immediate detection by restaurant ownership and inventory oversight that relied on honest supply management and accurate inventory tracking for operational efficiency and cost control. The manager had been particularly focused on stealing expensive ingredients and valuable kitchen equipment while ensuring that inventory theft would be concealed through false purchasing records and supply documentation that would justify missing inventory despite systematic diversion of restaurant resources for personal profit. The scheme extended to coordinating with external buyers and supply networks to facilitate stolen inventory resale while avoiding detection through restaurant inventory monitoring and supply tracking systems that were designed to prevent resource theft and ensure proper supply management. The kitchen manager had also been manipulating supplier relationships and purchasing procedures to support inventory theft while creating false delivery documentation and supply verification that would conceal systematic resource diversion and unauthorized inventory sales that violated restaurant operational integrity and employee trust standards. The restaurant supply theft fraud was discovered when ownership noticed inventory discrepancies and investigated supply management practices, leading to exposure of systematic inventory theft and resource fraud that violated employment agreements and restaurant operational standards. Our 19th story comes from restaurant customers who discovered servers were systematically manipulating tip amounts on credit card receipts while exploiting payment processing access to increase tip percentages and total payment amounts beyond customer authorization and intended gratuity payments. The servers had been operating sophisticated tip manipulation schemes where credit card tip amounts would be altered after customer authorization while using payment processing access to inflate gratuity payments and increase total charges beyond customer intent and payment approval. The tip manipulation operation involved comprehensive payment fraud and authorization violation while maintaining enough legitimate tip processing to avoid immediate detection by restaurant management and payment oversight that relied on honest tip reporting and accurate payment processing for customer protection and payment integrity. The servers had been particularly focused on manipulating tips for expensive meals and large dining groups while ensuring that tip inflation would not be immediately obvious to customers who might not immediately review detailed payment processing and credit card statement verification until after dining experiences and payment completion. The scheme extended to coordinating among multiple servers and payment processing staff to share inflated tips while avoiding detection through payment monitoring and tip reporting systems that were designed to ensure accurate gratuity processing and customer payment authorization compliance. The servers had also been manipulating payment processing systems and tip calculation procedures to make inflated tips appear legitimate while avoiding detailed payment verification that would reveal systematic tip manipulation and payment authorization fraud that violated customer payment rights and tip processing integrity. The tip manipulation fraud was discovered when customers began reviewing credit card statements and comparing tip amounts with intended payments, leading to evidence that revealed systematic payment manipulation and tip inflation that violated restaurant service agreements and payment processing regulations. Our 20th story involves restaurant customers who discovered the owner was systematically claiming food allergies don't exist to avoid accommodation requests while refusing to provide safe dining options for customers with legitimate dietary restrictions and medical food requirements that required special preparation and ingredient management. The restaurant owner had been operating systematic discrimination schemes where customers with food allergies and dietary restrictions would be told that accommodations were unnecessary or impossible while avoiding proper food safety protocols and ingredient management that were required for safe dining experiences for customers with medical dietary needs. The allergy denial operation involved comprehensive discrimination and safety violation while maintaining enough general food service to avoid immediate detection by health oversight and disability accommodation monitoring that relied on proper dietary accommodation and food safety compliance for customer protection and inclusive service standards. The owner had been particularly focused on avoiding accommodation costs and preparation complexity while ensuring that allergy denial would be supported by false medical claims and accommodation difficulty justifications that would discourage customers from seeking proper dietary safety and ingredient management. The scheme extended to training staff to avoid dietary accommodation while creating false safety procedures and ingredient management claims that would justify accommodation refusal despite legal requirements and food safety standards for customer dietary protection and inclusive dining service. The restaurant owner had also been manipulating food preparation procedures and ingredient information to avoid proper allergy accommodation, while providing false safety assurances that would endanger customers with food allergies and dietary restrictions who required accurate ingredient information and safe food preparation. The allergy accommodation denial fraud was discovered when customers with food allergies experienced reactions and investigated restaurant safety practices, leading to exposure of systematic discrimination and safety violation that violated disability accommodation laws and food safety regulations. Our 21st story comes from restaurant employees who discovered their manager was systematically stealing from employee paychecks through false deductions and unauthorized wage reductions while exploiting payroll access to redirect employee earnings into personal accounts and reduce labor costs through systematic employee compensation theft. The manager had been operating comprehensive payroll fraud schemes where employee wages would be reduced through false deduction claims and unauthorized payroll manipulation while creating fraudulent documentation that would conceal wage theft and maintain appearance of legitimate payroll processing and employee compensation management. The paycheck theft operation involved sophisticated wage manipulation and compensation fraud while maintaining enough legitimate payroll processing to avoid immediate detection by restaurant ownership and employment oversight that relied on honest wage management and accurate compensation distribution for employee protection and workplace integrity. The manager had been particularly focused on stealing wages during busy periods and high-earning shifts while ensuring that wage theft would be difficult to detect through complex payroll systems and deduction procedures that would obscure fraudulent wage reduction among legitimate payroll deductions and compensation calculations. The scheme extended to manipulating employment records and wage documentation to support false deductions while creating unauthorized payroll adjustments and compensation reductions that systematically reduced employee earnings and violated employment compensation rights. The manager had also been coordinating with restaurant ownership to reduce labor costs through wage theft while sharing stolen employee compensation and avoiding proper employee payment that was required through labor regulations and employment agreements. The employee paycheck theft fraud was discovered when workers began independently tracking wages and comparing earnings with hour records, leading to evidence that revealed systematic compensation theft and payroll manipulation that violated employment law and worker protection standards. Our 22nd story involves restaurant customers who discovered management was systematically charging customers for bread and water without disclosure while adding undisclosed charges for basic dining amenities that were typically considered complimentary services in restaurant dining experiences. The management had been operating sophisticated undisclosed billing schemes where customers would be charged for bread baskets, water service, and table amenities that appeared to be complimentary dining services but were actually being billed as additional menu items without customer knowledge or consent for these basic restaurant accommodations. The undisclosed bread and water charging operation involved comprehensive billing manipulation and service charge fraud while maintaining enough transparent billing to avoid immediate detection by restaurant oversight and customer service monitoring that relied on honest charge disclosure and accurate billing transparency for customer protection and service integrity. The management had been particularly focused on adding charges for standard dining amenities while ensuring that undisclosed billing would not be immediately obvious to customers who expected bread and water service to be included in basic restaurant dining experiences and menu pricing structures. The scheme extended to training staff to avoid charge discussion while creating false service categorizations and amenity classifications that would support charging for basic dining services that were traditionally considered complimentary restaurant accommodations and standard dining amenities. The management had also been manipulating billing systems and charge presentation to make bread and water charges appear as legitimate menu items while avoiding clear service disclosure that would reveal systematic charging for basic amenities that violated customer dining expectations and service transparency standards. The undisclosed bread and water charging fraud was discovered when customers began reviewing detailed bills and questioning charges for items they believed were complimentary, leading to evidence that revealed systematic undisclosed billing and service charge manipulation that violated restaurant service agreements and consumer protection standards. Our 23rd story comes from restaurant customers who discovered the chef was systematically selling homemade cooking claims while actually using frozen prepared foods and convenience products that were reheated and presented as fresh cooking and original recipe preparation that commanded premium pricing for supposedly scratch-made cuisine. The chef had been operating comprehensive cooking misrepresentation schemes where menu items advertised as homemade and freshly prepared would actually be frozen convenience foods and pre-prepared products that were reheated and plated to appear as original cooking and fresh food preparation. The frozen food misrepresentation operation involved systematic cooking fraud and preparation deception while maintaining enough visible cooking activity to avoid immediate detection by customers who trusted homemade claims and fresh preparation representations for quality dining experiences and authentic cooking. The chef had been particularly focused on using frozen entrees and prepared desserts while ensuring that convenience food usage would be concealed through plating presentation and cooking demonstration that would maintain customer belief in fresh preparation and homemade cooking despite systematic use of frozen and pre-prepared food products. The scheme extended to creating false cooking demonstrations and preparation displays, while actually serving reheated convenience foods that had no connection to advertised cooking methods and homemade preparation that customers expected from restaurant fresh cooking claims and original recipe pricing. The chef had also been manipulating menu descriptions and cooking claims to support homemade pricing while avoiding actual cooking and ingredient preparation that would be required for legitimate scratch cooking and fresh food preparation that justified premium menu pricing and cooking quality claims. The frozen food misrepresentation fraud was discovered when customers with culinary knowledge recognized convenience food characteristics and investigated cooking practices, leading to exposure of systematic cooking fraud and preparation misrepresentation that violated food service regulations and menu accuracy standards. Our 24th story involves restaurant customers who discovered servers were systematically providing false information about daily specials and menu pricing while manipulating special offer descriptions and price quotes to overcharge customers for promotional items and discounted menu selections. The servers had been operating sophisticated price manipulation schemes where daily specials and promotional offers would be misrepresented through false pricing information and incorrect menu descriptions, while customers would be charged higher prices than advertised for special menu items and discounted dining options. The false special information operation involved comprehensive pricing fraud and menu misrepresentation while maintaining enough accurate special information to avoid immediate detection by restaurant management and customer service oversight that relied on honest special pricing and accurate promotional offer presentation for customer protection and menu integrity. The servers had been particularly focused on manipulating expensive specials and premium promotional items while ensuring that false pricing information would not be immediately questioned by customers who trusted server menu knowledge and special offer accuracy for dining decision-making and meal budgeting. The scheme extended to coordinating among multiple servers to maintain consistent false pricing while creating misleading special descriptions and promotional offer claims that would justify overcharging for daily specials and menu promotions that were actually being sold at inflated prices beyond advertised special pricing. The servers had also been manipulating menu presentation and special offer communication to support price inflation while avoiding accurate pricing disclosure that would reveal systematic special pricing fraud and promotional offer manipulation that violated restaurant menu accuracy and customer pricing protection standards. The false daily special fraud was discovered when customers began comparing special prices with menu information and investigating promotional offer accuracy, leading to evidence that revealed systematic pricing manipulation and special offer fraud that violated restaurant service agreements and consumer protection regulations. Our 25th story comes from Restaurant Oversight, who discovered the owner was systematically manipulating health inspection records and safety documentation while concealing food safety violations and sanitation problems that endangered customer health and violated public safety standards for restaurant operation and food service licensing. The restaurant owner had been operating comprehensive health inspection fraud schemes where safety violations and sanitation problems would be concealed through false documentation and inspection record manipulation while maintaining restaurant operation despite systematic food safety violations and health code compliance failures. The health inspection manipulation operation involved sophisticated safety documentation fraud and regulatory violation concealment, while maintaining enough visible safety compliance to avoid immediate detection by health authorities and food safety oversight that relied on honest inspection, reporting, and accurate safety documentation for public health protection and restaurant licensing standards. The owner had been particularly focused on concealing serious safety violations and sanitation problems while ensuring that inspection manipulation would not be immediately detected through health authority monitoring and safety compliance verification that was designed to protect public health and ensure restaurant safety standards. The scheme extended to creating false safety procedures and sanitation documentation while actually operating with systematic safety violations and health code failures that created significant public health risks and food safety dangers for restaurant customers and dining community safety. The restaurant owner had also been manipulating health inspector relationships and inspection scheduling to avoid detection of safety violations while providing false safety compliance claims that would maintain restaurant licensing despite systematic health code violations and food safety standard failures. The health inspection manipulation fraud was discovered when health authorities conducted surprise inspections and discovered safety violations that revealed systematic inspection fraud and safety documentation manipulation that violated public health regulations and restaurant licensing standards. Our 26th story involves restaurant customers who discovered management was systematically overcharging for special dietary accommodation requests while exploiting customer dietary needs and medical requirements to inflate menu pricing and service charges for food allergy accommodations and dietary restriction modifications. The management had been operating sophisticated dietary accommodation fraud schemes where customers with food allergies and dietary restrictions would be charged excessive fees for menu modifications and ingredient accommodations that should have been provided as reasonable dietary assistance and inclusive dining service. The dietary accommodation overcharging operation involved comprehensive discrimination and pricing manipulation while maintaining enough legitimate accommodation service to avoid immediate detection by disability rights oversight and dietary accommodation monitoring that relied on fair accommodation pricing and reasonable dietary assistance for customer protection and inclusive service standards. The management had been particularly focused on charging premium prices for simple dietary modifications while ensuring that accommodation overcharging would be justified through false preparation complexity claims and special service requirements that would support inflated pricing for basic dietary accommodations and ingredient modifications. The scheme extended to creating false dietary accommodation procedures and preparation complexity claims while actually providing simple ingredient modifications and menu adjustments that required minimal additional preparation effort despite charging substantial accommodation fees and special service charges. The management had also been manipulating dietary accommodation policies and pricing structures to maximize charges for dietary restrictions while avoiding reasonable accommodation standards that would provide fair pricing for dietary assistance. and inclusive dining service that met customer medical needs and dietary requirements. The dietary accommodation overcharging fraud was discovered when customers with dietary restrictions began comparing accommodation charges and investigating pricing practices, leading to evidence that revealed systematic overcharging and dietary discrimination that violated disability accommodation laws and fair pricing standards. Our 27th story comes from restaurant customers who discovered kitchen staff were systematically using customer leftovers and other dishes while incorporating partially consumed meals and returned food items into new meal preparation that violated food safety standards and customer health protection regulations. The kitchen staff had been operating comprehensive food safety violation schemes where customer leftovers and returned meal portions would be incorporated into new dish preparation while avoiding proper food safety protocols and contamination prevention that were required for safe food service and customer health protection. The leftover reuse operation involved systematic food safety violation and contamination risk creation while maintaining enough visible food safety compliance to avoid immediate detection by health oversight and food safety monitoring that relied on proper food handling and contamination prevention for customer protection and public health standards. The staff had been particularly focused on reusing expensive ingredients and meal components while ensuring that leftover incorporation would not be immediately obvious to customers who trusted food safety standards and contamination prevention for safe dining experiences and meal consumption. The scheme extended to manipulating food preparation procedures and ingredient management to conceal leftover reuse while creating false food safety documentation and preparation records that would support contaminated food service despite systematic violation of food safety protocols and customer health protection standards. The kitchen staff had also been coordinating leftover reuse among multiple preparation areas while avoiding proper food safety monitoring and contamination prevention that were essential for safe food service and customer health protection during meal preparation and food handling. The customer leftover reuse fraud was discovered when diners noticed food inconsistencies and health officials investigated food safety practices, leading to exposure of systematic food safety violations and contamination risks that violated health regulations and food service safety standards. Our 28th story involves restaurant customers who discovered management was systematically billing customers for damages they didn't cause while exploiting dining incidents and table accidents to charge customers for property damage and facility repairs that were actually pre-existing problems or normal restaurant maintenance costs. The management had been operating sophisticated false damage billing schemes where customers would be charged for table damage, equipment problems, and facility issues that were either pre-existing conditions or normal restaurant where that should have been covered through business operational costs rather than customer damage charges. The false damage billing operation involved comprehensive property damage fraud and customer blame manipulation while maintaining enough legitimate damage assessment to avoid immediate detection by restaurant oversight and customer service monitoring that relied on honest damage evaluation and fair customer responsibility determination for property protection and service integrity. The management had been particularly focused on charging customers for expensive repairs and facility maintenance while ensuring that false damage claims would be supported through incident documentation and damage assessment that would justify customer billing despite lack of actual customer responsibility for property damage and facility problems. The scheme extended to creating false damage documentation and incident reporting while actually billing customers for routine maintenance and pre-existing property problems that had no connection to customer dining activities and table usage that were being falsely attributed to customer behavior and dining incidents. The management had also been manipulating incident reporting and damage assessment procedures to support false customer billing while avoiding accurate damage evaluation that would reveal systematic false damage claims and customer billing fraud that violated service agreements and consumer protection standards. The false damage billing fraud was discovered when customers began documenting table conditions and challenging damage claims, leading to evidence that revealed systematic false billing and damage claim manipulation that violated restaurant service agreements and customer protection regulations. Our 29th story comes from restaurant customers who discovered servers were systematically keeping change from cash transactions without permission while exploiting cash payment handling to steal customer change and tip amounts that should have been returned to customers or processed according to customer payment instructions. The servers had been operating comprehensive cash handling fraud schemes where customer change from cash payments would be kept by servers while customers would be told that exact change wasn't available or that change amounts were being applied as tips without customer authorization or consent for gratuity payments. The cash change theft operation involved systematic payment fraud and customer money theft while maintaining enough legitimate cash handling to avoid immediate detection by restaurant management and payment oversight that relied on honest cash processing and accurate change distribution for customer protection and payment integrity. The servers had been particularly focused on keeping change from large bill payments and complex cash transactions while ensuring that change theft would be justified through false change availability claims and unauthorized tip application that would avoid customer change return requirements and payment processing accuracy. The scheme extended to coordinating among multiple servers and cash handling staff to share stolen change while avoiding detection through cash register monitoring and payment tracking systems that were designed to ensure accurate cash processing and customer change return compliance. The servers had also been manipulating cash handling procedures and change distribution policies to support change theft while providing false information about change availability and tip processing that would justify keeping customer money without authorization and payment processing consent. The cash change theft fraud was discovered when customers began documenting cash payments and demanding proper change returned, leading to evidence that revealed systematic change theft and cash handling fraud that violated restaurant service standards and customer payment rights. Our 30th story involves food service management who discovered charitable donation coordinators were systematically stealing donations meant for community programs while exploiting restaurant charity initiatives and customer donation collections to redirect charitable funds into personal accounts rather than community assistance and charitable program support. The donation coordinators had been operating comprehensive charity fraud schemes where customer donations and restaurant charitable contributions would be stolen through false charity documentation and donation processing manipulation while maintaining appearance of legitimate charitable giving and community support programs. The charitable donation theft operation involved sophisticated charity fraud and donation diversion while maintaining enough visible charitable activity to avoid immediate detection by restaurant oversight and charity monitoring that relied on honest donation processing and accurate charitable fund distribution for community protection and charitable program integrity. The coordinators have been particularly focused on stealing donations during high-volume charitable campaigns and community fundraising events while ensuring that donation theft would be concealed through false charity documentation and community program reporting that would justify missing donations despite customer contributions and charitable giving commitments. The scheme extended to creating false charitable programs and community assistance claims, while actually providing no charitable service or community support despite substantial donation collection and charitable fundraising that was being stolen rather than distributed to intended community beneficiaries and charitable programs. The donation coordinators had also been manipulating charity reporting and donation tracking to conceal theft, while providing false charitable impact information that would maintain customer confidence in charitable giving despite systematic donation theft and community program fraud that violated charitable regulations and donor trust standards. The charitable donation theft fraud was discovered when community organizations questioned donation delivery and investigated charitable program funding, leading to evidence that revealed systematic donation theft and charity fraud that violated charitable giving regulations and community protection standards. Our 31st story comes from restaurant customers who discovered the owner was systematically advertising false farm-to-table sourcing claims while actually purchasing conventional wholesale ingredients and mass-produced food products that had no connection to local farming and sustainable agriculture practices that were being advertised and charged premium prices for supposedly local and sustainable dining. The restaurant owner had been operating comprehensive sourcing fraud schemes where menu items would be advertised as locally sourced and farm fresh, while actually being prepared with conventional wholesale ingredients and mass-produced food products that were purchased through standard commercial food suppliers rather than local farms and sustainable agriculture sources. The false farm-to-table operation involved systematic sourcing misrepresentation and sustainability fraud while maintaining enough visible local elements to avoid immediate detection by customers who trusted farm-to-table claims and local sourcing representations for sustainable dining choices and agricultural support. The owner had been particularly focused on advertising expensive farm-to-table menu items while ensuring that false sourcing claims would be supported through misleading supplier information and local farming partnerships that were actually non-existent or minimal despite extensive farm-to-table marketing and sustainable dining claims. The scheme extended to creating false farming relationships and local sourcing documentation while actually purchasing conventional wholesale ingredients that had no connection to advertised farming practices and sustainable agriculture methods that customers expected from farm-to-table dining and local food sourcing claims. The restaurant owner had also been manipulating supplier relationships and sourcing documentation to support farm-to-table claims while avoiding actual local purchasing and sustainable sourcing that would be required for legitimate farm-to-table dining and local agriculture support that justified premium pricing and sustainability claims. The false farm-to-table fraud was discovered when customers with farming knowledge questioned sourcing practices and investigated supplier relationships, leading to exposure of systematic sourcing fraud and sustainability misrepresentation that violated food service regulations and agricultural sourcing standards. Our 30-second story involves restaurant customers who discovered management was systematically charging customers for items removed from final orders while billing customers for menu items that were canceled or modified during ordering but were still included in final billing despite removal from actual meal delivery and order completion. The management had been operating sophisticated billing manipulation schemes where customers would be charged for menu items that were removed from orders during meal modification and order changes, while final billing would include canceled items and removed menu selections that were never prepared or delivered to customer tables. The removed item billing operation involved comprehensive order fraud and billing manipulation while maintaining enough accurate order billing to avoid immediate detection by restaurant oversight and customer service monitoring that relied on honest order processing and accurate billing for menu items that were actually prepared and delivered to customers. The management had been particularly focused on billing for expensive menu items and premium selections that were removed from orders, while ensuring that removed item billing would be concealed through complex billing systems and order modification procedures that would obscure fraudulent charges among legitimate meal billing and service charges. The scheme extended to manipulating order processing systems and billing verification to support removed item charges while creating false order documentation and preparation records that would justify billing for canceled menu items despite no actual preparation or delivery of removed items and modified order selections. The management had also been training staff to support removed item billing while avoiding detailed order verification that would reveal systematic billing fraud and order manipulation that violated customer billing rights and order accuracy standards. The removed item billing fraud was discovered when customers began comparing final bills with actual orders received and investigating billing accuracy, leading to evidence that revealed systematic billing manipulation and removed item charging that violated restaurant service agreements and consumer protection regulations. Our 33rd story comes from restaurant employees who discovered the kitchen manager was systematically selling expired products at discount grocery stores while exploiting access to restaurant inventory and food supplies to resell expired ingredients and food products that were unsafe for consumption but were being sold to unsuspecting discount retailers and community members. The kitchen manager had been operating comprehensive expired product resale schemes where restaurant food supplies that had past expiration dates would be sold to discount stores and community markets while concealing product age and safety information that would reveal food safety violations and consumer health risks from expired food consumption. The expired product resale operation involved systematic food safety violation and consumer fraud while maintaining enough legitimate inventory management to avoid immediate detection by restaurant oversight and food safety monitoring that relied on proper expired product disposal and food safety compliance for public health protection and restaurant operational integrity. The manager had been particularly focused on selling expired dairy products and prepared foods while ensuring that product age would be concealed through false documentation and packaging manipulation that would make expired products appear safe for consumption despite significant health risks and food safety violations. The scheme extended to coordinating with discount retailers and community markets to facilitate expired product sales while avoiding proper food safety disclosure and expired product identification that would reveal systematic safety violations and consumer health endangerment through expired food distribution. The kitchen manager had also been manipulating inventory tracking and disposal documentation to conceal expired product resale, while creating false disposal records and safety compliance claims that would support systematic expired food distribution despite food safety regulations and consumer protection standards. The expired product resale fraud was discovered when community members experienced food poisoning and health officials investigated food safety practices, leading to exposure of systematic safety violations and expired product sales that violated food safety regulations and consumer protection standards. Our 34th story involves restaurant customers who discovered management was systematically manipulating customer loyalty rewards and points systems while exploiting reward program access to steal customer points and reduce reward values that customers had earned through dining frequency and loyalty program participation. The management had been operating comprehensive loyalty fraud schemes where customer reward points would be systematically reduced or eliminated, while reward redemption values would be manipulated to reduce customer benefits and program advantages that were earned through regular dining and loyalty program compliance. The loyalty program manipulation operation involved sophisticated customer account fraud and reward system manipulation while maintaining enough legitimate reward processing to avoid immediate detection by customer service oversight and loyalty program monitoring that relied on honest reward management and accurate point distribution for customer retention and program integrity. The management had been particularly focused on stealing points from frequent customers and high-value accounts while ensuring that loyalty manipulation would be difficult to detect through complex point calculation systems and reward processing procedures that would obscure fraudulent point reduction among legitimate reward activity and program transactions. The scheme extended to manipulating reward redemption procedures and program benefits to reduce customer value, while creating false program limitation claims and reward restriction justifications that would support systematic customer benefit reduction despite earned loyalty points and program participation that should have provided advertised rewards and program advantages. The management had also been coordinating loyalty fraud among multiple restaurant locations while sharing stolen customer points and avoiding accurate reward tracking that would reveal systematic customer account manipulation and loyalty program fraud that violated customer retention agreements and reward program standards. The loyalty program manipulation fraud was discovered when customers began tracking points independently and comparing reward balances with program activity, leading to evidence that revealed systematic loyalty fraud and customer account manipulation that violated reward program agreements and customer protection standards. Our final story comes from restaurant customers who discovered servers were systematically providing incorrect bills to increase tips and payment amounts while manipulating billing accuracy and payment calculation to inflate total costs and gratuity expectations that would maximize server earnings through customer payment confusion and billing manipulation. The servers had been operating sophisticated billing fraud schemes where customer bills would be deliberately incorrect through inflated charges and calculation errors, while customers would be pressured to pay inflated amounts and increase tips based on manipulated billing totals and false payment calculations. The incorrect billing operation involved comprehensive payment fraud and customer manipulation while maintaining enough billing accuracy to avoid immediate detection by restaurant management and payment oversight that relied on honest billing practices and accurate payment calculation for customer protection and service integrity. The servers had been particularly focused on increasing bills for large dining groups and expensive meals while ensuring that billing manipulation would create confusion and payment pressure that would result in higher tips and payment amounts despite incorrect billing and inflated charges that violated customer billing rights and payment accuracy standards. The scheme extended to coordinating among multiple servers and payment processing staff to support billing manipulation while creating false billing justifications and calculation explanations that would support inflated billing despite actual meal costs and service charges that should have determined accurate customer payment amounts. The servers had also been manipulating payment processing procedures and tip calculation systems to maximize earnings while avoiding accurate billing verification that would reveal systematic payment manipulation and billing fraud that compromised customer payment accuracy and service billing integrity. The incorrect billing fraud was discovered when customers began independently calculating bills and comparing payment amounts with menu pricing, leading to evidence that revealed systematic billing manipulation and payment fraud that violated restaurant service agreements and consumer protection regulations. As we conclude tonight's journey through these 35 food service fraud stories, we're reminded that the restaurant industry, despite bringing us together around shared meals and culinary experiences, can sometimes harbor individuals who exploit our trust in food quality and service integrity. These tales from Reddit show us the importance of vigilance, documentation, and awareness when dining out and trusting food service establishments. Whether you're a frequent diner, food service worker, or someone who enjoys culinary experiences, these stories serve as valuable reminders about protecting yourself from food service fraud and ensuring your dining dollars support honest establishments that prioritize food quality and customer service. Thank you for joining me tonight on Drowsy Tales Daily, and may these stories guide you into peaceful sleep with renewed appreciation for ethical food service and honest restaurant operations. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you tomorrow night for another collection of fascinating Reddit stories designed to help you drift off to sleep. Until then, sleep well and dream of delicious, fraud-free dining experiences.